Hello everyone, how's it going? Today we're here on South Coast in the T-54, we're in a platoon here, and you can see in the chat there, one of my platoon mates are saying, don't follow space. Well, if you're wondering why would they not want to follow me, I'll give you a simple answer. Let's just say in the last battle, they all followed me after I asked them to, and our platoon was very quickly destroyed. Not to point any fingers or anything, but I'd like to say it's not my fault. But as you may have heard, if you guys watch World of Tanks on their YouTube channel, the ASAP videos, then you'll know what's coming in the next updates. Or else, if you watch some of the videos I hit the like button on, when I hit the like button on videos, I do it because I think you guys like to see it too. But if you haven't seen those, then you should watch them. First off, the ASAP videos, because they give information on what's going to be happening in the future updates in World of Tanks. But what they've announced is the next version is going to be 8.11, and then after that it'll be 9.0. Now there's some pretty big things coming, and I'm going to mention a few of them here. And the first one is new suspension mechanics. So right now, if you hit a bump, just the front of your tracks and the back of your tracks will move up and down. Every wheel in the middle just kind of follows along. It doesn't really move independently, but soon each wheel in your track will move independently, which will give a more realistic look there, so that'll be neat. They're going to be making every tank look nicer. They're going to give each tank more detail, which is going to be awesome. It's going to mean really nice looking tanks. And if you have a gun, say, mounted on the top of your turret, if you have random things hanging from the side of your tank, any side skirts of certain types, then they will actually move around as you hit bumps and take hits and stuff like that. So that should be pretty neat. I kind of like Battlefield there, how you have those tank parts that kind of dynamically move as you move around the environment. But apparently they've been messing with the Havoc engine too. And if you don't know anything about engines in games, basically that's what sets limitations on what they can do. So they've been messing around for the last year and a half or so with the Havoc engine. The Havoc engine is kind of a unique engine, and that is because it allows more dynamic things to happen. So say, for example, those stone fences you see around the world in World of Tanks quite often, usually around buildings and stuff like that? Well, if you drive through one of those right now, you know how it just it dissolves, it explodes and just kind of disappears, the whole fence. But once the Havoc engine's in there, stuff like you hit the fence and it crumbles over your tank, and you can potentially drive around with pieces of the wall on your tank for a while. That's pretty neat, which I wonder how that'll be if you have a piece of the fence stuck on front of your tank and you're firing HE rounds and trying to fire through that. Armor piercing, in theory, you should be able to fire right through, but I don't know about explosive. But what else this will allow is buildings to dynamically crumble. So say you shoot a building, possibly one that is even destructible right now, and you say you shoot it halfway up, the whole top half of that building from on that side will just kind of crumble very realistically. That should be very awesome. I'm looking forward to that. It should be just amazing, honestly. And there's also going to be stuff like say you ammo rack a tank, its turret will fly off. Excuse me, guys, I'm trying to get through here. Its turret will fly off, land beside it, and what you can do then is push the turret around if you want, use it for cover, and that should be pretty neat too. Turrets flying off, that sounds pretty neat. There's going to be stuff like hull leveling, which to my understanding means you'll have multiple hulls to choose from, just kind of like you have multiple turrets to choose from right now. I think that's what that means. I'm not 100% sure on that, but that'll be neat. So say you can have one that has a little bit less armor but better maneuverability, and one with more armor, possibly like you have right now. And then you can change that depending on how your playstyle is. Now they plan on not letting this affect users on slower computers too much. Apparently 40% of people that play World of Tanks have computers that are below the minimum system requirements they've outlined, which is kind of insane. I mean, you guys is there really 40% of players, I imagine, playing below 30 frames per second? That gives you a huge disadvantage. I know there's a lot of people, I'll go to circle kill or something, and as I move back and forth beside them, their reaction will be very delayed, but it's hard to say if that's actually their reaction time, or if that's their internet or their frame rate. It could be a lot of things. But maybe it is their frame rate. If 40% of players are below the minimum system requirements. But if you guys haven't seen any of those videos, the ASAP videos from World of Tanks there on their YouTube channel, I'll link you in the description. If I forget, again, remind me. I'll link you to all of that. Ooh, taking some friendly fire from artillery there. Knocking out my gun and my track. Ouch. But I'll link those in the description. Remind me if I forget. There's 2 videos right now, the ASAP videos, where they talk about all these things in, as well as the RNG video series, which if you guys haven't seen that, a changing topic by the way, then you should check that out, as well as the best replays of the week, because those are some pretty cool things. If you guys don't check out the news when you launch the game, you should at least glance over it. There's some pretty neat stuff, and occasionally there's like a day of free premium and stuff like that. So, I mean, check it out. That M103 bounces. Well, if I could, I'd show you some footage right here on that video, on the videos they've released, just to give you a taste of what's to come. However, I can't really do that because it's their property, and I'm sure they probably wouldn't mind because I'm promoting their game. But it's their content, so I don't think I should be doing that. Anyways, guys, I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Bye-bye.